Good evening and welcome to Toastmaster Time, the show that's got everybody talking. I'm Dr. Michelle Peticolas, your host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. This is our first show since the shutdown by the pandemic, and we have a very, very special program for you this evening. All three of our district directors are here to give speeches. Carolyn Douglas, District Director, Ed Cullen, Program Quality Director, Sally Philbin, Club Growth Director. And to begin our show tonight, we have Sally Philbin, Club Growth Director. Sally, welcome to Toastmaster Time.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to be here, Michelle.
My pleasure. Can you begin by telling us a little bit about your Toastmaster career? How did you get started in Toastmaster?
Oh my gosh, I was asked to join a club. My very first club ever was City Center Toastmasters in downtown Oakland. And Ginger Kane, who became an international district director, is the one who asked me to join. And the rest is history. I'm a slow grower, but I was growing constantly through the years and enjoying every minute of it.
What are some of the clubs that you have participated in?
I'm a member of Lakeside Speakeasy Toastmasters currently, and have been since we got that club started in about 1989, I think it was. I'm a member of the TLC Toastmasters Leadership Club, and I'm a member of a club down in Southern California called the 407, which is a club of past leaders, district directors, district governors, international folks. And this week I joined a club called A Cut Above.
You have a lot of clubs under your belt, don't you? And now you are the Club Growth Director. How did you get into the leadership portion of Toastmasters? And maybe tell us a little bit about leadership in Toastmasters.
I have a very firm opinion about leadership and my involvement in it, and it goes like this. Not me. Not me. When I was working, I only wanted jobs up to this level. I didn't want them up here. What happened, and I'll tell you about this later, is somebody asked, and it opened my eyes.
Well, I'm very excited to hear your speech. Are you ready to give your speech?
I am.
So stay a moment while I introduce you to the audience. Our first speaker is Sally Philbin, and she is going to be giving a speech from the Path Leadership Development. And this is a level 3 speech, and it's called Inspire Your Audience. The objective is to inspire your audience. The goal is to give a speech that is engaging, entertaining, or compelling. Sally Philbin, me, Club Growth Director, me, Club Growth Director, Sally Philbin.
Me? Club Growth Director? Oh yeah, I don't think so. No, this is a job that I never was interested in pursuing. So what happened? How do I find myself here? It turns out that in Toastmasters, there is a miraculous thing that happens, and it's called others seeing your potential, the potential that you don't see in yourself. Somebody asked me to run for Club Growth Director. I said, what? Somebody thinks I can do it? Well, let me just think about this. What is the Club Growth Director? Well, the Club Growth Director is responsible for building a team to start new clubs. All right, that's something I need to learn to do. I had never started a new club before. What else does the Club Growth Director do? The Club Growth Director builds a team for supporting the excellence of our current clubs and helping them to surpass their goals. This is something I can do. This is something I have experience in. All right, let's go for it. Let's run for Club Growth Director. I won. Oh my gosh, I won. I can do this. I have met people throughout District 57. I volunteer for contests. I volunteer to give speeches. I know people. Okay, I've got a disability. I don't remember anybody's name, but I've got lists of names, and if I see the name, I know why I know them, and I know who they are. And guess what? I got on the phone, and I started calling people. Yeah, I know, very old school, but it works so much better than sending emails or even texts, particularly in the pandemic when we weren't meeting in person. We didn't have the opportunity to talk to people about how we could get together. I made phone calls and people said yes. People said yes as I created new positions. People said yes as I gave them little tiny jobs that I thought would be fun for them. What is the goal here? The goal is to help people in the clubs have a taste of what it's like working in the district level. What's the goal here? It's to keep past area and division directors active at the district level. They did those jobs, now they're sitting to the side. No, come on. We want you to be part of this new endeavor because you've got skills. People said yes. Club extension chair, yes. Corporate club chair, yes. Community club chair, yes. Liaisons to go out and help build new clubs, yes. We have started 3 new clubs so far this year. We have another club whose paperwork has gone into the Toastmasters International. This is fun. I've been having more fun this year, I can't even tell you. Club quality, club support. Yes, somebody to look after that. Open house chair, yes. Club coach chair, yes. Club ambassador chair, yes. Club liaisons, yes, 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 yes. I had people traveling throughout the district talking about being a club coach, being a club ambassador. One of my club liaisons, brand new to Toastmasters, brand new to the district, he is now a club ambassador helping a struggling club succeed. I'm telling you, I have not had more fun in ever, really ever. So when someone asks you to step up, to do a job that you thought you could never do, take a step back. Think about it. Can I really do this? And the answer is yes. And why is the answer yes? Because you will be surrounded by people that want you to succeed. You will be surrounded by people who will help you, who will give you advice, who will catch you when you stumble. That's what Toastmasters is all about, and that's why I'm still a Toastmaster after all of these years, because I have learned to understand and appreciate the support and really the love of so many people. The people around me want me to succeed. How can you beat that? How can you not take care of that? Step up, say yes, grow.
Great speech, Sally. Very inspiring. And what do you think about her speech? Are you just a little bit interested in becoming a Toastmaster? I hope so. Our next speaker is Ed Cullen, Program Quality Director. Ed, thank you for joining us on Toastmaster Time.
It's wonderful to be back, Michelle.
It's great to have you. I would like to ask you my favorite question, which is, how did you get into Toastmasters?
You will hear that in my speech.
Okay.
But I'm very happy to tell you what clubs I belong to.
Okay.
I belong to Oakland 88, a club that celebrated its 75th anniversary.
Wow, 75th.
75th. I belong to Warehouse 6061. I belong to Point of Order, a club dedicated to Robert's Rules of Order.
Oh my goodness.
I belong to Laugh Lovers, an advanced club dedicated to humor. And like Sally and Carolyn, I belong to Club 407, a club full of advanced leaders of the past, willing to give us good advice.
Wow, that is so great. So that's so much what Toastmasters is about, is providing us with support so that we can improve and step into our leadership. Tell me, what does a program quality director do? What are you focused on? What's your job?
Training, contests, all the educational programs, and of course the conference.
You're responsible for the conference too?
Absolutely.
And can you give us any hint about what's going to happen at the conference this year?
It's going to be wonderful. It will be sandwiched between two contests, and there will be a business meeting, which luckily I'm not responsible for, but Carolyn perhaps can talk to you about that. It will be wonderful.
I bet it will. Are you ready to be wonderful and give us your speech?
I certainly am.
So hold on a minute while I introduce your speech. Ed Cullen is our next speaker, and he is giving his speech from the path Visionary Communication. He's going to be giving an icebreaker, which is the very first speech that a new member of Toastmasters gives. It helps them to get used to giving speeches. But I'm sure Ed has given many, many icebreakers. So what I want you to focus on here is how has he evolved, how he presents himself. Ed Cullen, our second speaker, what were you doing a dozen years ago? What were you doing a dozen years ago? Ed Cullen.
What were you doing a dozen years ago? Well, in late March 2011, Chris Scrivani invited me to pay dues and become a Toastmaster. As Sally said, I was asked, what should a club do? Well, a club should be findable, so you get guests. A club should be welcoming, so some of the guests turn into members. And a club should continue to give value so that some of the members are retained. But why did I become a Toastmaster? What was in it for me? Well, at first, there wasn't a reason for me to be a Toastmaster. I didn't know what Toastmasters could do for me. However, I was a docent at Berkeley Rep. I loved talking about theater. I studied the plays before they came on. I crafted a little speech, a program of about a half an hour. It was wonderful, except my audience was made uncomfortable because I was uncomfortable speaking. That's a problem that has a solution in Toastmasters. So I found that if I showed up and I gave speeches, well, the first ones weren't so good, but eventually I got better at that. More confident, more comfortable, and I was a better docent. I became club president of a club that didn't have a culture of doing many of the things that have worked for Toastmasters clubs for about the last 100 years. They didn't have club officer meetings. I instituted club officers meetings. They didn't do a club success plan in the beginning of the Toastmaster year. I instituted a club success plan. And they didn't do the moments of truth. Something that tells you what you really do well so that you can continue to do things well, and what you might want to do differently. So the call of club leadership was there, and if you're not a club leader now, you probably should become a club leader in the next Toastmaster year. Every leader in Toastmaster that you know started out at the club. Matt Kinsey started as a club officer. Virtually everyone you can mention who is in Toastmasters leadership started out as a club leader. And many of the people you think are great leaders, but you may not know they're Toastmasters, they started out in Toastmasters club leadership also, because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. In another year, I heard the call of district leadership, and I became an area governor. That's what they called an area director in those days. And that gave me the ability to take all the things I liked from my home club and offer them to other clubs. And take all the things I liked from those other clubs and bring them to my home club. But what did that mean for me? Well, of course, showing up and giving speeches helped me give speeches. Hearing the call of club leadership helped me focus on important things and gave me a structure built over about 100 years to help my thinking and my personal leadership. District leadership. And I invite everyone who hears this, if you haven't been a district leader yet, to try out the role of area director. It's very powerful. You want to have a plan for success, whatever you're doing. So you might not need a 12-year plan, but plan for your personal communication goals and your personal leadership goals, and you will be a success. Madam.
Thank you, Ed. That was a great speech that gave us a really good sense of the lay of the land of the Toastmasters world. Not just about speeches and giving speeches, but also about leadership. And our next guest on Toastmaster Time is our district leader, Carolyn Douglas, who will give us a little bit more of an idea about what leadership is involved. Carolyn, thank you for joining us on Toastmaster Time.
Thank you for having me and my team here today.
You're very welcome. I would like to ask you what I seem to be asking everybody today is, how did you get into this crazy club?
Oh, I had one of those catastrophic events that really propelled me into Toastmaster. At the time, I was working with this organization that required me to go out and do public meetings, and here I was in a public meeting, all of a sudden the lights in my eyes, and I forgot everything. I was on camera and I was on the news that night, and when I got back to work the next day, I was highly encouraged to go to Toastmasters.
Yes, yes. It reminds me of a story, one of the Toastmasters I know, he was sent first to somebody else who was speaking, and he was so humiliated, he never wanted to speak again. And then somebody suggested Toastmasters, and that, of course, was history. He got to learn how to speak.
And I have to say that it was one of the easiest things to do because there wasn't the pressure.
That's part of it, is that there isn't the pressure, and also there's a lot of support.
Yes, yes.
Are you ready to give your speech?
I believe I am ready to give my speech today.
I'm very excited to hear what you have to say. So take a moment while I tell the audience what they can expect. Carolyn Douglas is our third speaker for tonight, and she is going to be speaking from The Path, Strategic Relationships, and this is level 3. Her project is Focus on the Positive. That's an interesting topic. Her objective is to become aware of your thoughts and your feelings and how it impacts your responses to others, and then deliver a speech about what you've learned. Our third speaker, Carolyn Douglas, take a pause for the positive. Take a pause for the positive, Carolyn Douglas.
Take a pause for the positive. I want to share something with you that I think all of us can relate to. In April 2020, we all had to take a big pause. Now, what does pause mean? It means to stop and to take a step back. But what do you do when you pause and take a step back? It gives us an opportunity to reflect on where we are, what's going on. But the reality for Toastmasters and practically the entire country was that we had to take a pause in our normal routines and life because there was a pandemic that was demanding our attention and began to focus us in a new direction. That thing in of itself appears to be very negative for quite a few people. We were forced out of our comfort zone. We were forced out of our daily routines and activities. And we had to begin to look at, well, what else is there? Take a step back, take a pause, and begin to reflect. So instead of allowing the self-talk to begin to tell you, oh, this is bad, begin to look at what are the things that you can be grateful for? What are the good things that have occurred in your life? So as a district leader, my role at that point was to look at what did I have in my bag of goodies that said this is something good that can work for all of us. And I have learned that as a district leader, then my responsibility at this time is to bring forth the positive aspect of what it is that we do at Toastmasters. We build clubs. We help people to find the goodness, the greatness that is within them. We help communicators become greater communicators, and we help leaders become greater leaders. My job is to be very positive about the things that are happening. So how could I take care of myself such that I'm able to present to others this appearance of things are going well? It is being very honest and true to who I am, to myself. So how can I become very positive? One of the things that I have learned to do is when I wake up in the morning, I do a check-in with myself. Waking up, oh, how am I? How do I feel? Do I feel wonderful? Do I feel sad? Am I depressed? And if I'm finding that I've got some negative thoughts running there, I immediately go to this place of there's got to be some good here. What is something really good that will make me feel great, that will make me feel wonderful? Because I have people to meet. I have things that I need to do. I have team members that I want to talk with. I want to encourage folks to do what they have come to Toastmasters to do. So I will say something that we called an affirmation. Joy fills my life today, and I am so grateful. And I repeat that again. Joy fills my life today, and I am so grateful. So I, as a district leader, look at what needs to be managed within our district, and I bring that attitude of our ability to do the mission that we have. This mission is a good mission to allow people to become their greater yet to be. There is this little tagline that I love from Robert Schuller. He said, "Tough times never last. Tough people do." Toastmasters are tough communicators. Toastmasters are tough leaders. And Toastmasters learn how to have the confidence to stand in the role, the position of who they are. We're called upon time and time again to present ourselves, to be of service to the community. And in doing such a thing, we allow ourselves to be in that place where we're demonstrating that health, that wellness that a Toastmaster is. We allow ourselves to go into that space of removing any negative thoughts, to allow the positivity of our lives to be fully present. When I see you, when I see you, when I see you, when I see you, I know the good that is there within you, and I am ready to receive the goodness that you have. You are a Toastmaster. And as such, not only are you the leader that is made, but you are also the one that is facilitating and helping other leaders that are being made. Never forget this tagline, because it's good. Tough times may not last, but tough people do. I'm a Toastmaster. I'm where leaders are made.
Carolyn, what an inspiring and energizing speech. I bet that she has all of you out there in the audience really excited if you're already a Toastmaster, and maybe just a bit interested if you aren't one. And it's very possible to find a club. Carolyn is back with me to finish up the show. Carolyn, wow, what an amazing speech you gave.
Thank you.
What made you think to talk about positives? Oh, okay. Positives. Staying positive. And I loved your idea about having an affirmation every morning.
When we are in this pandemic situation, when we have to take a step back, when we have to reassess what's going on in our life, we don't want to be in that place of low energy where all of a sudden you see everything is bad, nothing's going my way. But look around and see what's there for you and become grateful for that, because that energy of gratitude lifts you and it gives you that little oomph, that impetus to move on to do something else that you like to do. Why would you not want to be in a better space of thinking? Allow the hormones to flow within you, because this helps you move forward.
You have inspired me, and I hope that you have inspired the other audience. We're just about done with our show. Your team gave us a great first show. Thank you all for joining us on Toastmaster Time. We tape our show in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you would like to know more about our show, please come to our website at toastmastertime.com. Our show is supported and sponsored by Toastmasters District 57. If you would like to have more local information about Toastmasters, go to their website, D57TM.org. And if you want to have more general information about Toastmasters or want to check out a local club, you want to go to Toastmasters International, and that's at toastmasters.org. We would like to appreciate our volunteers and wonderful staff at the Media Center in Palo Alto, where we tape our show. And thanks again to our guests this evening, District Leaders Sally Philbin, Ed Cullen, and Carolyn Douglas. From all of us at Toastmaster Time, I'm Dr. Michelle Peticolas. I invite you to join Toastmasters and keep talking.